This is KnownFix3290 who says, build a tool for students to prep for their first internship interview. Would love some feedback.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah,
I
hello
like it
all.
already.
Was that?
I like it already.
You like it already?
Yeah.
I've been working on a tool to help students prepare for their first internship by giving them personalized mock interviews with analysis on answers, etiquette, and hopefully mannerisms in the future. I came up with the idea before my first internship interview with SpaceX. Ooh. Clearly intelligent. Where I was excited to study and practice 24/7 for the interview, but had nobody to practice with. The main feature of the tool would be interviews. However, some other features to provide more value and differentiate from the market are role-specific resume feedback, been done before, but easy to implement. Internship tracking portal to track application and interview status. Rewards for landing an internship they practiced for using the website. Right now, I built a landing page and most of the functionality for real-time interviews and scoring, as well as a wait list for signups. My questions before continuing are, do students actually want this kind of tailored prep? Oh my God, yes, without question. Is the school career services channel even realistic for distribution?
Yes.
If anyone has any ideas, let me know, kind of. Yeah. So, wow, yeah. I mean, without question, students would love this kind of thing.
So here's the thing. After talking to Jay
London,
the college
advice guy,
right?
We got to have him on the show one day.
We do.
He's awesome.
He's hysterical, and his background is amazing. One of the things that I know they struggle with is so he gets them into the college, right? So this is the next level after college. And there aren't a lot of resources available for after college to practice for these types of things. And I am not a huge fan, as you know, of AI replacing everything. I think AI has its place.
Yep.
I think if you know someone at SpaceX and you have an in with someone that might have an AI, like, I don't know, a Grok, this is the type of stuff that I think AI would be brilliant at,
Yeah,
right?
would.
Is you do a mock character. So I feel like I'm talking to someone, right? Like it's a Zoom call and there's someone there and it's two-way. So they're looking at me. The AI is analyzing my body language. It's analyzing my answer. It's asking questions. It's asking questions based on things that I answer, because all of this could be easily programmed and prompted, right? And then once the interview is over, you literally get an analysis that says, this is what your body language was saying. This is the type of words you used. Here's how often you repeated and ums. Here's so it actually gives you an analysis of here's where we think you could improve, right? Because yes, you can do mock interviews one-on-one, but this is the type of stuff I think AI would excel at is training and tutoring, which is essentially what this is.
Yeah.
And reading the body language and seeing that they were slumping or that, their use of language was inappropriate based on standards, whatever. This is a tool that I think would be awesome.
I'll tell you right now. So my son, who's 19, is a freshman in college.
Yep.
Well, I guess he literally just took his last final. No, his last finals on Friday, so not technically a sophomore
Okay.
yet. Anyway, next year they'll be preparing for internships, and most of them are going to be in New York for their internships. And he's already asked me about prepping for the interviews and things like that. This would be perfect for him.
Yes.
I mean, of course, I'll be helping him out as much as possible, but when you have something available to you 24 hours a day, oh my God, it'll be great for them.
You could do it when you have time.
Whenever you have time.
You don't have to rely on another person.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love this, and you could still do the live interviews and use those as your training tools.
Right.
Right. So you put in your notes, you put all this, but this should be just be a pay per interview, right? $3.99 per interview, whatever it is.
Yep.
And I think this definitely is something that should be done. And you could expand this above and beyond just internship interviews. You could then expand it to anybody that is graduating that hasn't had to do an internship, preparing to do actual interviews.
Yeah.
right? Because like we've both interviewed people, and not everybody is good at being interviewed for a
No,
job.
not everybody's going to be interviewed. In
Like-
fact, I learned over the years how to kind of read through that because I found people that were horrible at interviewing,
We're great
but
workers.
were fantastic at the job.
Yes.
And sometimes, if you know going into that you're not looking for the best person, the person who's best at the interview,
Correct.
then you know how to start reading through those things.
Right. But if the person being interviewed knows how to do both,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like that
Slam
is
dunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I interviewed one of the ladies that I hired, like not only did she interview well, but everything like checked the boxes. And I was like, damn, like she could work anywhere. She wouldn't even have to, she could apply for the next job and
Yeah.
she'll get it, like
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? She knows her stuff and she interviews well.
That's
Right.
awesome.
Versus my last hire, which didn't interview really well. But she was literally, we got her, she was wrapping up her internship. She was graduating that fall,
Mhm.
right? And we were like the 5th interview she ever did in her life. And like when we were done the interview, I told the woman that was with me on the interview, I was like, you know, this is probably our best candidate, right? And she goes, yeah, but the interview was bad. I'm like, well, the interview wasn't as bad as the last interview we did because that was horrendous, right? And she's like, yeah, but like she didn't answer some of the questions. And I'm like, doesn't matter that she answered the questions. What mattered was the fact that she was making every effort that she had to be able to answer the questions.
Yeah.
Right. And that what she didn't know the answers to, she flat out said, I don't know that. I can look it up and get back to you. Like, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Years ago, when I was this is probably 2012, 2013, I was hiring for a software developer.
Mhm.
And a lot of people came in, and everyone came in usually business casual, suits sometimes every once in a while. I always told them, don't worry about wearing a suit, but business casual, certainly. And this one guy comes in with a pair of jeans and a Flyer sweatshirt. And I was about to write him off just because of the way he came into the interview. But then I sat down, I talked with him, and he seemed okay. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. You know, he turned out to be one of the best programmers I've ever worked with.
Oh, yeah.
His name was Tom. What a great kid. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And I worked with him for almost 10 years.
Same thing. So a guy that I ended up, he ended up working for me for like years, right? The first time I met him, we actually lived in this same like complex in Florida, right? So I'm outside one day and I'm out getting the mail and I look across the street and there's this guy with long black hair in like 85 degrees and whatever the hell humidity, the unlivable humidity in Florida, right?
Yeah.
He's sitting outside with his black hair and a black t-shirt and black jeans, smoking a cigarette and drinking coffee. And I'm like, hey, right? Like, because it was the middle of the day and nobody was supposed to be home. So he ended up like saying, hey, and then stood up and came over. And it was one of those where it's like, right? I ended up talking to him and we got talking, found out that he was in the same field I was. He was working from home. He had been a contractor. And then literally the next day I was having an issue with a server. So I walk over and I'm like, hey, I'm having this server issue. Is this something you could help me with? And he's like, yeah, do you have the logons? And I'm like, yep, here you go. 5 minutes later, he'd fixed the problem.
Yeah.
And then he ended up working for me for probably 10 or 12 years. Like I relocated him from Florida. He actually lived with me while he was getting settled in Pennsylvania. Yeah, like, but if he would have showed up for an interview, not in a million years do I think I would have hired him.
Jeez. Why would you, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't interview
He didn't
well.
look and act the part.
Correct. And he doesn't interview well because like he wanted to move on from me a couple of times. And I'm like, go do the interview. I'm like, I want you to move on. Like it is that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to grow into something more. Right.
Yeah.
And he always had a hard time getting the job because his resume looked awesome. It was always the interview part where he failed.
And this type of app could absolutely help you with that. Could to teach you skills during the interview process, how to prepare for the interview, what to wear at the interview, things like that.
Even things like body language.
Oh yeah, very good point. Yes.
Right? Like
how many times have I seen that?
I've seen it a million times and I'm like, just sit up, right?
Okay, hold on. Before, okay, number one. Okay, number one in an interview, shake hands well. Okay, there's nothing worse than this. No,
the flappy
no.
hands.
I don't care if you're a boy, a girl. I don't care whatever you identify. I don't care.
Just
This is a proper handshake at an interview. That's a proper handshake.
Yep.
Okay. If you're not doing that, you're not getting the job.
And the funny thing is, like, if we get down to like basic psychology, right? Like, if you can create rapport with someone, right, which is relatively easy to do, and it starts with a handshake, because all you have to do is match the pressure that you're feeling, and you're instantly feeling rapport, right? When the person sits down, if they sit down and they lean back, guess what you do?
Lean back.
Lean back.
Yeah.
When the person leans forward, they are
mirror them.
They're trying to get attentive, right? So you do the same. You go, yeah, right? Even those basic things like mirroring, which is a known technique, helps build trust between you and whoever you're talking to. And a lot of times you have 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe at most for an interview, right? So if you're walking in and the person that's interviewing you is sitting up confident, right? And this is you.
Yep, that slouched, hiding.
That is not a good look. Even if your answers are perfect, your body language is saying absolutely no. And the person may not even realize, the person interviewing you may not even realizing that that is the reason they're not really giving you a full chance. It's because your body language is off-putting, so to speak, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you also, one of the number one turnoffs for an employer when they're interviewing people, and I would have to say of the last 50 interviews I've done, 10 people have done this, maybe even more. So what are you looking for? I'm looking for a job. What do you want to do? I don't care. I just need a job. What? No, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that.
I've told you what the one question is I ask everybody, right? And it's what's fascinating to me is most people get surprised by it, right? Because they're like, what do you mean next job?
Yeah.
Well, you're not going
to be here for 20 years.
Yeah. And you're not going to.
I'm not going to be here for 20 years.
Are you going to be, or do you want this entry level position for the next 5 years?
Right.
Because if you do, then you're probably not right for an entry level position, because an entry level means that this is where we want you to start, not where we want you to end up. Right. So the next job doesn't have to be with someone else. The next job could be within the organization, but I need to know where you want to go.
Is it TV or movies, I guess, that make people think that you're not supposed to grow in a company? I don't understand.
I don't know.
It's like, okay, so let me give some advice, okay, for the interview bound. When you're going into a job interview, remember, you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. When you're the candidate looking for a job, you want to get a feel for that company. You're going to get a feel for the person that who's going to be your manager. You're going to be working with that person every day.
Yeah. It's
got to feel right. If it doesn't feel right, you're going to have a miserable existence. Right. And then, and I know what people are going to say, well, there's not a lot of jobs out there, but there are. There's plenty of jobs out there.
Of jobs.
You just have to find the right feel for you. And sometimes it's a matter of starting at the bottom and working your way up. And so when you're at the interview them too. Have questions prepared about what you want to know, not how much am I going to be paid. No. That's not the question to ask, and that's not the time to ask it.
All the time I've been hiring, there's only been one person that ever asked me. So once I'm done this position, where does that lead to?
Yes, there you go. That's a fantastic question.
And I was like, that is a great question,
that's a great
Because that's basically the question I ask them.
Yes.
So it's the only person that I've interviewed that actually asked the question preemptively.
Right.
Right. So that's how I kind of started to understand, like, when they talk about the next job, they really want to see if there's a possibility to move into what they're interested in.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody's interested in an entry-level job. Nobody wants to do data entry or answer the phones or do the basic stuff for an extended period of time. Right? Like, you want to keep getting, well, you should want to keep being challenged and be able to develop your interests. But the reason I asked this, and the reason I was glad the person asked, is when you're taking an entry level, I'm going to be training you alongside of it. Well, if I train you as a data analyst to find out that you actually like graphics, there's going to be a problem. Right?
Right.
So I better know whether you're interested in graphics or
beforehand
data analytics, because this entry-level job literally allows us to funnel you to where your interests are. Right.
And there's no problem with you telling me beforehand that you're interested in graphics, even though the entry-level job is for data analytics. You can still do that.
Yes.
And I can still start training you on graphics so that in 6, 8, 10 months, when you're no longer at the entry-level position, as it really doesn't take that long, I can move you onto something else.
Yes.
And it could be graphics based. It could be sorting more toward that area.
Yeah.
But if you don't tell me, I don't know.
Correct.
And for some reason, people feel like they're not allowed to speak up. And I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've seen it in interviews all the time where
should.
people don't want to speak up.
Because it's super helpful for the employer as well, right? Because
it is.
Now we know, like, do we ever think there's going to be a graphic position open for you? If the answer is no, we should probably tell you that.
Yeah.
Right? As, we're scaling back on graphic designers, so that's probably not a legitimate thing. Well, that may change the interviewee's perspective on the job.
Why waste your time working there if you're never going to go anywhere?
Correct. If you're there for a year or year and a half and there's no graphics positions that are opening up, how long are you going to want to stay? Right?
Exactly.
If that's really where you want to be. So yeah, that's why it's such an important thing is not just what is this job, but what does this job lead to?
Yeah.
Will I have the ability to, like, perfect example is the last lady I hired. And I asked her, one of the questions I asked her was like, what do you enjoy most about your internship? And she goes, the data analytics and understanding when we need to restock what things based on previous year sales and how the numbers are. I'm like, okay, so you're a data analytics person. Guess what? We're going to train you to run AdWords campaigns. We're going to train you not to write the copy for them, but to actually run them, to understand, to look at the numbers, to look at the analytics, to look at Search Console, to look at the numbers, and then just give me your, like, the raw assessment of the numbers. We can then figure out based on the numbers what needs to be adjusted. Doesn't mean you have to create a new graphic to go with the ad. The graphic designer can do that, but you're going to have to give us the data. So by training her on the data analytics, because that's where we knew she wanted to go, we pushed her way more towards that than we ever pushed her towards the graphics portion of it.
Right.
And she's way happier for it.
She's happier for it. Absolutely.
Right? She likes it. And, more power to you.
So known fix 3290. This is cool. I love this idea. This is great. Let us know when this is done. I want to check it out. Ethan, don't go anywhere. Let us know when this is done. Check it out. I really want to see what this is. This is a really cool app.
Remember that if you have questions or comments, please drop them below and we will prioritize actually answering the questions on these videos.